a strong old sadhu to know his views on natural laws. Disappointingly, the sadhu failed in the test, and in pursuit of self-esteem he decided to marry the king's daughter. On account of the dispute, look at how his son pledged to eradicate Kshetra from the earth. The previous video, H, tells the story of Jamdagni, who intended to marry the king's daughter in hopes of having a son, thus achieving moksha. The king diplomatically responded that any daughter who wished to marry Jamdagni could do so. When asked, all 7 daughters declined and told their father it was a joke. Unable to bear the insult, the sadhu cursed them to become old and withered women. The king begged for forgiveness, but Jamdagni refused. While walking through the garden, the king's youngest daughter, around 5 to 6 years old, asked for the biju fruit he was holding. He agreed to give it to her on the condition that she marry him. She agreed, and he took her to the king, who was helpless and wept. The sadhu then lifted the curse on the other daughters. Jamdagni took her to his home and waited until she grew up to be 16 to 17 years old, naming her Renuka. She eventually gave birth to a son named Parshuram, fulfilling Jamdagni's aim. Now he had no further interest in Renuka. The rudeness of the situation drew her to her brother-in-law and had an affair with him, which led to enmity. Despite warnings, Renuka continued her relationship with her brother-in-law. Unable to bear this, Jamdagni killed him, sparking strife between the Brahman and Kshetra castes. The sons of the slain king sought revenge but found it difficult to openly attack Jamdagni. One day, while Jamdagni was deep in penance in a forest, the sons of the killed king silently beheaded him. Parshuram, being strong and powerful with magical abilities, avenged his father's death by easily killing them and anyone who interfered. His fury led him to wipe out all his Kshetra relatives, including his own mother, fostering a deep hatred for the Kshetra caste. After some time, Parshuram became very annoyed and wanted to destroy the remaining kings. In his second campaign, he sought to root out all kings and Kshetras. Many kings were destroyed, while some went into hiding. King Sahasrarjun decided to confront Parshuram with his full strength and advised his pregnant queen to seek refuge in a known ashram, where the head would take care of her and provide guidance. The king told his queen that if he managed to defeat Parshuram, he would join her at the ashram. Otherwise, she should manage her life there. The queen, dressed as a commoner, met the head of the ashram, who welcomed her and suggested she live as a poor Brahman woman without revealing her past to anyone. Although the king fought fearlessly against Parshuram, he was ultimately defeated and his kingdom was looted and destroyed. The queen bore her sorrow in silence. After 6 months, the queen gave birth to a son named Subhoum. There was no celebration, and he grew up as a Brahman boy with inadequate education and no training in warfare. There was no one who could stand against Parshuram, and he decided to eliminate the Kshetra community from the earth in phases. While this might seem possible, it went against the principles of natural law. In the third round, the number of Kshetras killed decreased. By the fifth round of his Kshetra hunt, only a few targets were visible, as most remained hidden. Parshuram went door to door gathering information. Eventually, he arrived at the ashram where the queen's son resided. Using his intuition, he sensed the boy was a Kshetra. However, before acting, he sought confirmation from the head of the ashram, who assured him that the boy was the son of a Brahman woman. Parshuram left the ashram, still feeling the boy might be a Kshetra, but he respected the word of the head, who was also a Brahman. Parshuram made a series of 7 rounds, and in the last round, no Kshatriya person was found. He then went to rest. However, he was curious about his own death, whether he'll die by his own means or be killed by someone else. For this, he consulted a Muni, who told him his death would be at the hands of someone else. Parshuram asked how he could know who it would be. The Muni explained that Parshuram had a gold plate and bowl in which he ate food. When the bowl was filled with kheer while on the plate, the person eating it would be his killer. Finding that person would be a difficult task. Parshuram built a beautiful garden to attract people and displayed his golden utensils on an exceptional table. He hoped that the boy would visit, and a special team was assigned to watch and inform him. Parshuram built a beautiful garden and placed his gold plate on a decorated table along with a ball and a spoon. It created an attractive scene in the garden, which was safely encircled. Meanwhile, the queen's son, Subhoum, had grown into a young man and expressed his desire to visit the newly built garden. Although it was not far from their ashram, his mother initially refused, warning that Parshuram was a dangerous person who could harm him. However, he insisted he would just look around without touching anything. With her eventual consent, Subhoum visited the park and approached the golden plate that Parshuram had used for food, which was a major attraction drawing a large crowd. Subhoum stood among the crowd, observing the plate and other utensils with great curiosity. Suddenly, the bowl began to fill with kheer on its own. Intrigued, he picked up a spoon from the plate and tasted the kheer. In the excitement of eating kheer, Subhoum forgot his surroundings. Just as he was about to finish, he heard a harsh voice. Looking up, he saw a strong Baba armed with weapons, challenging him with dire consequences. The crowd scattered in fear as they saw Parshuram in a furious mood. Subhoum, unarmed and unfamiliar with weapons, picked up his plate to defend himself. He used the plate as a shield to block Parshuram's weaponry. The fight between them went on for hours without resolution, as the attack was one-sided. Both grew tired, and Subhoum rotated the plate on his forefinger and threw it at Parshuram, aiming for his neck. Parshuram tried to block it by all means but failed. The plate worked as a chakra and decapitated Parshuram. The strongest person, Parshuram, was killed. It was surprising that a simple young man, unfamiliar with the use of weapons, managed to kill the strongest person. Knowing the cause of the Kshetra massacre, Subhoum sought revenge and massacred Brahmins. He performed a series of 12 rounds of killing but eventually found no one left to kill. An exploration into the reality of this phenomenon and its causes is required. A few crore years ago, before the time of the Ramayana, a significant event took place. Subhoum was born as the 8th Chakravarti king in a series of 12 kings destined to rule 6 sections of a specific land, one of which is known as Kshetra. Subhoum was a figure of immense power, making it extremely difficult to kill a Chakravarti king. Readers might find it unbelievable to learn about the age and height of people during that era. However, according to legend, Subhoum stood at a towering height of 200 feet and lived for 60,000 years. Though these details might seem fantastical, they are presented as true within the system of natural laws. Both Parshuram and Subhoum wanted to eliminate each other's castes, causing the massacre of millions of innocent people for their own purposes. What did they gain except to quench their thirst for blood? They cannot escape the punishment of natural karma for their actions, which led them to the 7th level of hell. Heavy massacres of innocent people do not justify an individual's anger. Such actions will lead to severe consequences, as seen in the cases of Parshuram and Subhoum, who faced the gates of hell.